My name is Haley Ellis, and I'm a senior at PSU majoring in biology. And I've had times where I feel like I don't belong in college, so I wanted to share a story of mine that may provide some encouragement to others who have felt similarly, and to my classmates and colleagues that we belong in college. A prominent feeling that I remember feeling throughout college is feeling inferior to other students or classmates, thinking I'm less smart or dwelling on being less involved. And I often compare myself to other people's successes. And I'm a low-income student, and I'm able to attend college due to grants and scholarships, which is super helpful, but I still have to work part-time to support myself. And so I find myself limited with how much I can volunteer and do extracurriculars in general. And so I need to remind myself that I'm in a different place, a different situation, and I still volunteer as much as I can. And I've also compared myself to people in those different situations, feeling like I was less good or like less successful for not being able to dedicate necessarily as much time to volunteering. And it's been really important to remind myself that my situation is different, and I still volunteered wherever I could. I feel like another thing that really helps me, and that it's important to remind myself, is to not rush myself and to give yourself time, because I've been in school ever since high school. I didn't take a break yet and I feel like I'm so used to not taking a break that I need to remind myself to, and I feel the same way with volunteering and being involved. Like, I feel like I have to do it now, I have to do something now, but it will still be there. It's important to remember you still need to take time for yourself. And especially with COVID, like, it's not like you're necessarily behind because you can't volunteer now. It's just important to, like, take care of yourself, and you don't need to rush. It's not a race or anything, and it's important to just take time. And that's really helpful. A final piece of advice that I think is helpful when I'm doubting whether or not I belong in college is finding someone who I look up to, like a role model, or maybe they're a mentor or a classmate, and they might be on a similar path as me. Maybe we're involved together with volunteering or just have class together. And I think it's a helpful reminder to rationalize my own thoughts and worries, because it's so much easier to be critical on yourself. But if you see someone who you look up to who is maybe going through a similar situation, for example, they also aren't like less involved due to COVID, and it's helpful to be able to look at someone you respect, and it makes it so much easier to realize that it's still going to be okay. You still see them as successful, they're not any less for that situation. And I just think it's a helpful way to kind of see from an outside perspective, and it kind of bring reality to the fact that everything will be okay, and there's no need to actually rush. This person that you're looking up to, they're maybe in a similar situation, they're doing all right, so it makes it easier to realize those things about yourself. I feel like I've learned some lessons as being a woman in STEM too, and the importance of self-advocacy and kind of just speaking for yourself more, because not everyone else can always do that. It's important to keep yourself motivated, try and push yourself, and also the importance of like believing in yourself, which I think sounds cheesy and it goes along with it, but I think that's a really important skill when you're in college, because it can get hard, so that's one of the most important things to keep you going. That was my story of sometimes that I feel like I didn't necessarily belong in college, so thank you for listening, and I hope that this can maybe someday find someone who feels similarly, and that it can be encouraging and helpful.